So first off, I want to say thanks for purchasing this course. You know, I got into real estate for one reason. My realtor sucked, right? I was 19, going on 20. My best friend and I bought a house, and our realtor told us not to get a home inspection, not to get a home warranty, and day one, guess what? The hot water heater broke. And right away I said, if she can do a bad job and make $13,000, sign me up. 20 years old, I'm a millionaire with $13,000, right? And so I got into business. And when I got into business, I had a big wake-up call as a 19, naive punk kid. And I was a punk kid back then, right? And what I learned was I sucked at knowing what to do to get business in real estate. So for 2 years, I struggled. I struggled hard. And then I got a coach, and a coach gave me a baseline of how to build a network or a sphere of influence, and I took that and I put it on steroids. And that's what this course is all about. It's how to build a sphere of influence where you can not only have a sphere, but have a sphere that works for you. Folks, I had a sphere of influence of 300 people, and a lot of you may say that's not a lot of people. You're right, but it's 300 people that I can pick up the phone and they knew who I was. I can call them, I can text them. They know exactly who I am, I know who they are, and it's relationships. I believe that if you have a list of relationships, which I call a sphere of influence, that actually, and you have systems in place, things to do to these folks that are routine, I'm telling you, you don't know the power of these relationships. I was getting 30 to 40 referrals month over month for years. It wasn't happening 1 month and then not another month. It was very consistent. Every single month, referrals were coming in. Every single day, referrals were coming in. And guess what? You guys all know this. What would you rather have? A lead from a website, a lead from an open house, a lead from door knocking, a lead from cold calling, a lead or a referral? I'm telling you, I wanted to work with folks who already heard that I was great. I wanted to work with folks who knew I was the best out there. I wanted to work with folks where it was a warm intro, where they already trusted and appreciated the level of service I provided because the referral was that strong. And I'm telling you, the sphere of influence is one thing, how to get the relationships that strong is a complete another. And I'm going to teach you how to do both. I'm going to teach you how to do both, how to maintain the sphere of influence. I'm going to teach you how to have a sphere of influence that, guess what, when you're sleeping, they're working for you. But you have to actually follow the steps, and you have to actually execute on doing the work, and I'm telling you, you will have so much business. I hope you're excited. This is going to be a course that I think will change your business for the marathon, right? We're in the marathon business here. We're not in the sprint business. And if you work this right, I promise you, you will see huge benefits. You will see huge rewards with the people that already love and trust you. So let's go along this journey. Welcome to section 1, and we're going to be talking about your sphere of influence. And I really like to look at definitions, and my true definitions, this is Tyler's definition of a sphere of influence, is truly anyone and everyone you know, right, and have a relationship with, and anyone you connect with. So from your barista you see every single morning, right, they would be part of your sphere of influence. Your friends and family members, that's an obvious one, would be part of your sphere of influence. Your trade professions, right, plumbers, financial advisors, painters, attorneys, etc., right? They should be part of your sphere of influence. And I really wanted you guys to think about this because if you truly look at the data, which I'm a big data guy, the National Association of Realtors last year reported 82% of all home sales, okay, all home sales in the US, the source of business came from a referral. Now, think about that. A majority of the home sales came from referral. Now, I know there's a lot of ways to do business, you know, cold calling, open houses, door knocking, farming, etc. There's tons of ways, and I'm not saying that's not a way to do business. What I'm telling you is take the data presented in front of us and looking at it and saying, if it's by referral, I need to focus on that, which is a big piece of the pie, which is building my sphere of influence. So I'm going to do that with you today, right? I'm going to help you guys do that. I'm going to help you not only build and identify who should be in your sphere of influence, but I'm also going to help you truly understand the power of your sphere of influence and why I was so successful in building mine. So come along with me on this journey. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be fun. It's going to have a huge return for you folks. When I got into real estate and I got started, I was 20 years old. And I was very inexperienced, and I had no clue. I had no clue at all the power of the connections I was making and the relationships I already had. And I really didn't even understand that those relationships and those connections played such a huge part in my real estate success and how much money I can truly make in my real estate career. And so I want to give you guys an example. Take 300 people in your sphere of influence. Now, I know all of you know a ton more people. You guys have thousands of friends on Facebook. You have so many people in your circle. Well, let's just take a small sample size of 300, very small. And let's say that you got referrals from these folks and you close 10% of the referrals. So let's say you close 30 deals from 300 people. First off, 300 people is a small sample size. 10% closing ratio is a very small closing ratio. But let's use that as the worst case scenario here, right? So you have 300 people, you got 30 referrals that close. If you take the national sales price of the closings last year, which was $250,000, folks, we're talking about $230,000 gross commission income. 230 GCI, baby. That's a good book of business. That's a lot of money. And that's with the small sample size, that's with the small closing ratio, which everyone's gonna have higher of both. You guys can see the sky's the limit. Sphere of influence, you can make a lot of money in real estate. And so I really want to just get started with you. I want you guys to starting to identify truly your sphere of influence and seeing how powerful, just like I saw how powerful it's going to be in your real estate career. So here's an activity I put together for you. It's called the Real Estate Recall. Whether you're brand new in the business, whether you're a vet, top producer, or a team, it's designed for you to recall all of the relationships you have. And it's really designed to ask you several questions to help you dig deep to really put down a lot of different people. And this is gonna help you build your sphere of influence. This is the start of building it. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna click the link below. The Real Estate Recall has 3 true questions that you have to answer. First question, who do you know, right? Who's your dentist? Who's your attorney? Who's your financial advisor? Who's your dry cleaning person? Those are the questions it's going to ask you. You're gonna write down the first and last name, very simple. The second question, have you spoken to this person in the last 30 days? It's either a yes or it's a no. It's that easy. Now, if you've clicked no, right? If no's the answer, you move on to the next question. Very simple. If you've clicked yes, what you need to do is you need to go into a follow-up question of, would this person refer you? And it's simple. It's a yes, it's a no, or it's a maybe. Let me give you an example. My mom's best friend, Dorothy, I just saw over Christmas, and she loves me, and she's seen me grow up, and she knows I'm in real estate. She's probably going to be a yes. She would refer me, right? Maybe my soccer coach, his daughter's in real estate. Most likely, I talked to him, and I know that he's a no, right? And maybe you just don't know, and that's why I put maybe there. A lot of you are going to see a lot of them are maybes. Don't worry about what that answer means yet. We're going to talk about that in the next section, but I need you to answer those 3 questions on every single one of these. Don't skip ahead, because it's very important that this is completely filled out before you go to the next section. Good luck. So now we're going to start working on reconnecting with your sphere of influence. You filled out the Real Estate Recall. You've gone through the 3 questions, right? You've answered them. And now you've probably had a little wake-up call. There's a lot of folks in here I haven't spoken to in a long time, right? A lot of people I'm not connected with that I've kind of just been so busy in life, and guess what? You're now going to reconnect with those folks. So in the second section, when it says, have you spoken to this person in the last 30 days? For everyone that you answered no, we're going to contact those folks. And your goal today is not only to contact them, but to talk to them. And when you talk to them, your goal is to move them from a no to a yes. That is your number 1 goal today, is to move everyone that you put no to a yes. And that is what I need from you. So let's talk about the methods of communication when you're reconnecting with your sphere of influence. I believe there's 3 methods. The best method is real-time communication, right? That's face-to-face or a phone call where you're actively talking to them, right? You're actively talking to this person. So that's the best way. Remember, your goal is to move that person from no, I have not spoken to them, to yes. And the only way to do that is to talk to them on the phone or be in person, face-to-face. The second method, right, is text messaging, emailing, voicemails. I understand that it may not be the case that you can contact these people and they pick up on the first time, or you can get a hold of them. So this method is great as a warm-up to real-time communication. Now the third method, which a lot of you will probably be utilizing, is Facebook, right? If I haven't connected with someone in a year, maybe 3 years, I probably don't have their information in my cell phone, right? Or in my contact database, whatever. And I need to contact them. The best way to do that is to connect with them on Facebook. Not only is Facebook a great way to find folks that you kind of lost relationships with, but it's also a great place to leave a message for them or to do a voice message. And I'll give you guys some instructions on how to do a voice message and why it's effective. You've got all these forms of communication, but you're probably wondering, what the heck do I say to these guys, right? What do I say? I haven't spoken to some of these people in 6 years. And so I wanted to give you guys some examples of what I would say and what I would do. And obviously, the length of time that you've known this person, the type of relationship, the type of industry, they're all going to be different, but I wanted to give you a real example of something that happened to me. So as I went through this activity sheet, one of the questions was, who was your coach? And for me, I had a coach. I ran track and field in high school 12 years ago, folks. And my coach was called Coach Smith, Mr. Smith. And he helped me through my hurdle, experience during track and field. I ran the 110 hurdles and the 330 hurdles. And I don't know anything about him. I don't know what he's up to or anything. So what I did is I went to the third way of communication, which is Facebook. I went to Facebook and I found him. And it looks like he's still in track and field, but that's really all I know. We're not friends. So I request him as a friend. He accepts me, and then guess what? I ask him the question on Facebook. I message him and say, hey, Mr. Smith, it's Tyler. What's going on? I hope you remember me. I graduated in 2002, and I ran track and field for 4 years. You helped me be phenomenal in my 110 and 330 hurdles, and I was just thinking about you, wanted to reconnect. I'd love to catch up, see what you're up to. If you don't mind, give me your phone number. I'd love to catch up and connect. And that's really all I said, guys. It was simple. And I did this via the voice message in Facebook Messenger. And what was great about it was I got a reply within minutes. You have to understand, a lot of people are on Facebook and all the time. And when they hear that voice, it's like they're reconnecting with someone from the past. And right away he said, hey, I'd love to connect. Yeah, I'm still doing track and field. Here's my contact information. And right away, through that small little piece of communication, I was able to schedule a call or get a phone number where I can make a call. Remember, your goal is to move them from a no to a yes, and you only can do that belly to belly or through a phone call. So now my next step with Mr. Smith, my coach, would be to contact him. So what do? Pick up the phone, I call him. Hey, Mr. Smith, it was so great to connect with you, man. Gosh, it's been forever. What are you up to these days? Are you still doing track and field? You're not at the high school anymore. Are you at the college? Wow, what a great promotion. Congratulations. And what he's going to happen to say is, well, what's going on with you, my old student, right? What's going on with you? What are you up to? And that's where I get to drop, I'm in real estate. I help people buy and sell homes, baby. That's what I do. I help people live through the American dream of buying their house. And so that's what you get to talk about now. And by then, you do a lot of small talk, you hang up the phone, and you're done. And what's nice about this is when you're done, you've actually executed on contacting this person within the last 30 days. And now you're getting to the next point of building your sphere. And when you're done with him, your coach going from a no to a yes, you move on to the next person that's a no. And your goal is to get them from a no to a yes. And you're going to go down the line until everyone is a yes. That is your mission. That is your goal. So I've given you one example there. I've included some additional examples below. You want to spend some time with this. This isn't going to happen within 10, 15 minutes, right? You probably have a lot of no's. Remember, your mission is to move them from a no to a yes, and you're only going to be able to do that by contacting and communicating with these folks. So take your time, make sure you're contacting them, make sure you're communicating them, and really try to finish this activity before you go on to the next section. Congratulations, you have completed section 1 of this awesome course. You have gone through and you know what a sphere of influence is now. You know why it's important to have a sphere of influence. You've actually done an activity to help you identify your sphere of influence. And guess what? You've reconnected with some of these folks. And I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun doing this. It was fun. I got to reconnect with people I didn't know, that I forgot about. And I know that these folks will be pivotal for my real estate career moving forward. Now, if you haven't finished, that's all right. Take your time and make sure you complete this course. It's really important you complete the entire section of this course before you move on to section 2. See you soon. Hey guys, in section 1 I talked about voice notes. I want you guys to learn and execute on how to do a voice note. So number 1, Facebook. If you go into Facebook, you will see in the messages, when you message somebody, it's simple. You have a little microphone. It's a microphone icon. I'll put it here on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. And what happens is you get to this screen that has a big record button. And so what you do is you simply hold it down and you record. And you record your message. Hey, Mr. Smith, I want to connect with you. I haven't seen you since track and field. Just wanted to say hi, blah, blah, blah. And you're done. That's simple. And it goes to them with your voice through Facebook Messenger. One disclaimer I will tell you is practice this a couple times first, because what happens is in Facebook, when you let go of record, it sends it automatically because it's being efficient, right? I would hate for you to do this and test it and say, oh, hey, Mr. Smith, I messed up. And then you let go and it sends it to Mr. Smith. We don't want that. So what I would say is, make sure you execute on this, number 1, and number 2, even more importantly, make sure you practice so that way when you do execute, you sound great. Now, the second thing is iPhones. For all my iPhone users out there, what's nice is on iPhone Messenger, right, when you text message, it has a little Microphone, same thing. And what you can do is you can go in there and you can do the same voice note. So right now I'm leaving a voice note for somebody. I just want to say, Mr. Smith, I can't wait to connect with you, blah, 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 and I send it. And when I'm done sending it, what's great is it does the same thing it does in Facebook Messenger, but with an iPhone. It sends a text message of a voice note to your client very quick. It's not a voicemail where they have to listen to it. It's just something, they click play, they listen to it through their text message, and it's done. So that is what I was talking about. I want to make sure you guys use those, execute on them, be a pro about them, and make it happen. So in section 2, it's all about understanding and organizing your sphere of influence. You have all these relationships now that you've written down, and you probably think, some people are more valuable than others. For example, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my friends and family members, right? They're super valuable. They're always going to refer me. They love me. They know that I have a good heart, and I'm going to really do well in real estate, and I'm going to take care of the client. Opposed to maybe somebody you met at, a business mixer, and they may not know your value proposition as a realtor. They may not even know that you're good at real estate. And so those relationships are going to be valued at a different level. And so at the end of this, you're going to have all of these relationships. You're going to know which ones are the highest and best use of your time, so that when you're finished with this entire course, you know where you should be spending a lot of your time, right? Time is important, and knowing the value of a relationship is going to be key. So let's get started. So just like in life, you have all these relationships, and they all have a different value on them. It's the same thing here, folks, right? You have your sphere of influence, and all of the different relationships, they have a different value depending on how well that relationship is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to categorize all of our relationships. If you move over to section 2, you'll notice there's a column that says, how would you categorize this? And there's 4 different types of categorizations. There's diamond, there's gold, there's silver, and there's bronze. And so let's talk about what those definitions really mean. To me, I look at diamonds and think very rare, very precious, and beautiful to look at. And so when you think about a client who I'd categorize as a diamond is someone who refers you a minimum of 4 times a year or once a quarter. That's a diamond. That's someone you call precious, you love them, they're an amazing relationship. For me, right, to give you guys a little context behind it, I had a gal I knew named Mary. Her name was Mary, and she worked for a company called Mary Kay, not the actual Mary, right? And she drove around in a pink Cadillac, which will tell you she was a boss, right? She was driving around selling a lot of cosmetics. And for me, she referred me all the time. 1 month alone, she referred me 10 deals. So for me, I look at that relationship as that's a diamond, that's precious, that's rare, and I want to cherish that relationship as much as I can. So that's what you would categorize as your diamond relationships with clients. And to be honest, you're not going to have a ton of them. If you have 300 people and they're all diamonds, you're going to have a crazy book of business. But I'm telling you, it's just like a true diamond. Very rare, very precious, and beautiful. So you won't have a lot of folks like that, but the ones you do, you are going to love. So let's talk about gold category. That's a client who will refer you, but probably won't go out of their way to refer you. They kind of refer you passively. So give an example. A past client, they hear a friend saying, I'm thinking about buying a home. Oh, you should use Tyler, he's great, and that's pretty much it, Or Tyler's great, he helped us, and I think we were pretty happy with him. I mean, it's passively. They're still great, right? You still want to give them attention and love because they do already like your services, they do already approve and trust you, but they're just not aggressive or a huge advocate. They're just kind of passively passing your information on. So let's talk about the folks you're going to put in the category of silver, right? These are a lot of the people that you just meet one-on-one the first time you've met them. Or it's folks that probably, they don't know your value proposition as a realtor, they don't know you want the business, and they don't even know how to refer you. And so these are relationships that you're going to continue to cultivate to move them up into a better category. But like my track and field coach, Mr. Smith, right? I reconnected with him. He doesn't know much about me. He loves me as a track student, but he doesn't know me as the realtor, and he doesn't maybe respect me as the realtor. And so he would go in the category of silver until I got him up to a gold or a diamond. So that's really the folks that you just meet, business mixer, you meet him for the first time. A lot of people you first meet, those are going to be in your silver category. So let's talk about the bronze. The bronze are folks that I categorize as, I need to let you swim free fishing, right? They're just not people you want in your sphere of influence. So let me give you an example. Maybe somebody bought a house, which can happen, but maybe somebody bought a house that was a past client with some other realtor and you didn't know about it. To me, that would be someone that you don't want in your sphere of influence. You don't want to spend your time with them. You want to get them out of your sphere of influence, right? Or maybe someone is just a pain in the butt to work with. and you're like, I don't want referrals from this person. I don't want to work with their friends, their family members. They were mean, they were rude. I don't want to work with them. They're a bronze, and you're going to get them on out. That's simple. So now you have the definitions on how to categorize these relationships. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the real estate recall. We're going to go to section 2, and we're going to look at the category that says, how would you rank this relationship? And when you look in this section, you're going to notice 3 things. Number 1, the list of relationships you have is smaller than the original list you started with. The reason why is if you said, this person would never refer you, we got them out of there. You don't want to spend time and energy and effort with someone who will never refer you. So they're out of your sphere of influence. The second thing you're going to notice is some of these are defaulted to silver, the silver category. We automatically categorize some of these relationships as silver. So if you put this person maybe will refer me, guess what? We put them as silver. And then you're going to find a lot of them are going to be blank. And you need to categorize those as gold or as diamond or as silver, right? And so that's what your task is to go through section 2 of the real estate recall and fill out the section that asks how would you rank these relationships. So you may have noticed there's several other questions on every single relationship in this form. And you need to spend a little bit of time on this, right? The methods of communication, it's really important to try to fill out as much as you can in this area because you're going to be utilizing a lot of this information in the next section. Now, you don't have to have every type of communication, but you have to have a minimum of 1. And it's really, really important, so make sure you spend some time and fill it out. You'll also notice some additional questions that are like fun facts. Don't worry about filling that out for now. If you want, you can, but we'll talk about it in the next section. All right, so let's wrap up the review here. Think about it. You've got your sphere of influence now. You got it. You've got all of the relationships. You actually know the importance of every relationship in here, which is important. That's the most important part. You know who is important to you and who you should be spending your time with. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this that we've learned so far, we're going to move on to the next section, and we're going to put a lot of this into gear, right? We're going to put a lot of action items against these relationships based upon how valuable they are. So follow me along. Get ready. It's actually time to put the work in motion.